Hi guys, and welcome to my studio table. I'm going to try something a little bit different today, and I'm going to shoot a video talking about the substrates that I am looking forward to using during my February Painting as a Practice challenge, which is about to start. One of the things I really wanted to do this year for the challenge was to work on different substrates and unusual surfaces that I've not worked on before. So I've actually ordered quite a few interesting little bits and pieces that I thought it would be interesting to show you, and also prepared some very unconventional surfaces that I'll talk about in a moment. But before I start, in case you're new to me, I run a challenge every February called Painting as a Practice. I also have e-courses by that name, but I have a free e-course, which is a free preparatory e-course that you can access over on my website, susannethercottstudio.com. I'll link to that below, and if you pop over there, you can jump on the Painting as a Practice challenge. Just go to the free tab and then go down to PAP challenge, that's PAAP challenge, and you'll find all the details there. There are free prompts you can download for the month, and there is also that free preparatory mini course that you can take. So this is something a little bit different. I wanted to add it in this year because in the free video I kind of demonstrate working in a sketchbook, and I do cover a lot of different surfaces that you can work on, but I wanted to show you what I'm going to be challenging myself this year with, because a lot of the prompts that I've created this year focus around your substrate and playing with surfaces and different ways of working with surfaces, and also mixed media such as collage and all kinds of different techniques that I'm really hoping will just help you and me to break open into exploring other media in our work for the month, because the whole idea of the Painting as a Practice Challenge month is just to play and have fun and find new openings into our body of work that we can create in the future. So I'll start off with these orders that I have here. I ordered from Southern Boy. These are some canvases. I've actually had these quite a few times before. They're beautiful pre-framed canvases, so that is not really an unusual substrate, but it's a great size and something that's fun to play around with if you're wanting to do the challenge on canvas. One of the reasons I wanted to show it to you is because last year I had an exhibition, my Autumnal Dreamscapes exhibition, and I did a lot of work on linen that was then stretched onto these canvases. So I actually unstretched this canvas and I painted on a pre-primed linen surface and then stretched it after I was done. And the reason I did that is because I used a lot of mixed media on the linen, and it was things like Caran d'Ache water-soluble wax pastels, things that I really wanted to scrub into the surface with. And because I needed a hard surface, I worked on this flat on a table and then stretched it afterwards. So I actually wanted to seek out a way that I can work that way, that's on a hard substrate instead of the canvas. So I also have ordered from Southern Boy. Both these products are from a Melbourne company called Southern Boy that I buy a lot of my pre-framed canvases from. And they make these lovely hard panels. So the panel is actually, it's a aluminium composite, which is meant to be archival and very good, and sort of one of the best practice surfaces to use for panels these days. So I thought I would try out this product. It's a little bit of a narrower profile in the frame, but I thought I would try it out because I'd like to see what happens when I put my linen onto that surface and work on that surface. So that's one of the unusual substrate experiments that I will be taking throughout my February challenge. So I'll just move these aside for a minute. I'll just bring this box over here. This one is from the Sydney Art Store, which is another place that I love to buy supplies from. And in here I have some panels. I'm just going to put them aside. They didn't come from Sydney Art Store. I'll talk about them in a minute. What I've got from there is a variety of wooden panels, because I'd really like to try out working on the wooden panels as well. One of the things I loved about working on the linen last year was leaving bits of the linen showing through the painting, and I really want to try out some ideas that I have with leaving some of the timber exposed on the panels. So I've got this round panel to try out, and I also have just a few different sized squares and things. So that's a square 8 by 8 inch, there's a little rectangle, and there's a nice little 9 by 12. So they're going to be fun to try out as well. These ones are not pre-sealed, so I will be sealing those with a sealer, this golden GAC 100, to seal my panels. And then I've also been playing around with a few really alternative ideas. I have prepared these little blocks. When I was at home at my parents' house over summer, my dad had all this leftover pine in his shed, and I said, look, do you mind if I cut some of that up, and I want to try using it to make some little standalone paintings. So I had this idea of chopping them and then exploring ways of painting that in a whole bunch of different ways. So that's just, I love the idea of those being able to just sit on a shelf and be like a teeny tiny artwork, and potentially having like a little story of them that I create, and they sit side by side. And again, I'm really loving the idea of working with the grain in the timber and letting little bits of that timber poke out. So that's another thing that I want to have a play with. I kind of went a bit crazy on cutting heaps of those and preparing them. And then I'm just going to try out other things. Like this is actually the lid to this container that I bought at Kmart the other day. And I bought it actually to just have it as a pencil container for my desk caddy on my desk. And I didn't really need these. And once I unpacked my round panel after it arrived, I thought that could actually be a really cool smaller round surface that could go with this idea that I have here of this collection of working on bits of timber. So that's another thing I'm going to play around with. I'm just going to pull this off, and I'll give them a little bit of a sand. They actually feel like they're raw, and then I'll seal them with the GAC 100. And I'm going to give it a go and see how they come up with one of the things that I play around with during the prompt. There's also a couple of other pre-prepared panels that I had lying around in my collection of things in my canvas storage. I'll just go grab those. So this one is a pre-primed linen canvas. I haven't painted on one of these for a while. I've only done it once before, and it was for an oil painting, but I just thought, given the challenge, I might try painting on the pre-primed panel again. I did end up priming my own linen for the last show because I wanted it to have quite a bit of absorbency. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to get the same effect with this, but I'm just going to try it out and see how that goes at some point in the challenge. And then this one is just a plain white timber panel. So that has been pre-gessoed, and it's just a hard surface. And I thought what I might try with that is actually similar to what I was going to try with the SB boards, the aluminium composite boards. I'm going to see what happens when I actually adhere the linen to the cradled board. So when I say cradled board, it's got a frame around here that cradles the timber panel, which you'll see on all of them. So that gives you, I think, a pretty good overview of what I'll be playing around with during painting as a practice this year. So if you would like to pop on over to susannethercottstudio.com, you can go to the tab marked free, and you will find the PAP challenge there. If you'd like to download the free course and also the free prompts, you can by all means take part. And yeah, thank you for joining me today. Bye.